Hi, welcome to episode 83 of Creepy Soup. It's really difficult to believe it's 83.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got a little more with the whole bonus things, but whatever. But actual episodes, like researched episodes, it's 83. It's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We're almost at 2 years.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
we got a good run.
Yeah. So, how are you?
Peachy.
Right, Dandy. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I don't know if you just heard my husband belch as he was walking by, but he did. That's the downfall of recording in daytime. People are awake and they make noise.
Yes.
So if you hear it, I'm sorry. Um, right now there is my husband, my son, my daughter, my 12-year-old grandson is home. Um, and my son-in-law was home, but last time I went out in the living room, I didn't see him, so he may have ran to the store. I don't know.
Okay. At
Um,
my house, there's always an opportunity to hear someone walking across the floor.
yeah, yeah, like I know someone's walking through the kitchen right now, and this room is right off the kitchen. So, I mean, hi.
Cur- Curious. Have you learned everybody's footsteps yet?
Adults, yes. The okay, the kids are different. It depends. If they don't give a fuck, yes, I know the difference. If they're trying to be sneaky though, and the middle one, you never really hear him because he walks on his tiptoes.
Yep.
He walks on his tiptoes. It's crazy. Um, did you have a good New Year's? I know you had to work and you worked crazy hours on New Year's.
I did. I ended up going in at 8 o'clock at night, working till 4:30 in the morning. Always fun. Um, it wasn't terrible. We had a good amount of people. A considerable amount less than past years. Um, yeah, that's all I'll say on that.
Now, did the casino do something for a New Year's thing or
We did have a concert. Um,
okay. You say that like question like
it wasn't a good concert
was it a good perform like a well-known person?
in somebody's eyes.
Okay, text me later who it was. If you if you don't want to say it out loud, I understand. I understand completely.
Our advertisement was come see Johnny Wad and watch the ball drop.
Okay.
Yep. Um, it's my understanding he would basically do 80s songs, 90s songs.
Like a cover artist kind of thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know why you would name yourself after a porn character, but whatever.
yeah.
Yep, we didn't do nothing. We sat here. I mean, I really wasn't even paying attention to the time. And then it was like a couple minutes before, and I looked, I'm like, oh shit, we've got 3 minutes left. And then I did the countdown thing, and that's it.
Yeah. Um, So that was my whole like work thing as far as me personally. I was watching a live and I talked about her before, but it's Snarls Box.
Okay,
And so she was doing a really cool makeup look. And then for each of the different time zones, she did a countdown and did a whole Happy New Year for each of the different time zones so that everybody got to have a little New Year's, shout out and
okay, that's
everything.
cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
she did
And
some giveaways.
now I couldn't remember all of them, but I did recently started following one of your makeup girls.
Okay.
Um, you know what? Because I do want to shout her out. So let me look real quick and see who that is because I don't fucking remember. I
Today I used Lizette's new palette to do my face. So, yeah, she's got amazing colors in her palette. I should get it
uh
and show you.
Bella Lou Beauty.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, that's who I started following.
Nice.
She's actually the last person that I started following. So um
It was nice and easy to find then.
yeah, so New Year's was just another night.
Yeah, I hung out with the beauty girls and we had fun. So, always a good time when I hang out with them.
Yeah, no, I was just here. I think I was watching Shameless. I'm on a Shameless kick. That's what I'm watching. I'm trying to watch the whole series again. I didn't watch the last couple seasons. I know how it ends, and I'm already not looking forward to the ending because you go online and see the spoilers. So
Yeah,
not looking
it's
forward to that.
kind of like my Supernatural. Even though they're, doing more of the show, I
Mhm.
cannot watch the end of the last season,
Yeah.
season 15. I can't get past a certain point because I know once I get past that certain point, the story goes a certain way.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what happens, but I've seen enough to where it's like shit, nope, I can't watch any of the spoilers. I can't watch the actual episodes. I
Hmm.
can't do it because that means it's
It's
the
over.
end
Yeah.
and I can't let it be the end. Sam
Yeah.
and Dean are forever.
No, I know my daughter's the same way with Sons of Anarchy. I mean, she's watched the end. We've all seen the end, but there is a particular character that, and she cannot watch that episode. Has never watched it, and like at the beginning of each new episode, it shows like recaps. She don't
Hmm.
watch those because she does not want to see that happen.
Yeah,
So,
it's a thing.
and I didn't stop watching Shameless for any particular reason. Like I was a little bummed when the one female lead left. And I did watch it after that, but it was, you get busy. You get busy. And I want to say somewhere in that time frame, like I did some first shifts. I like, yeah. So it wasn't for any particular reason, but I love the show. And I'm watching it over Christmas break, and I'm like, oh my God, we are the fucking Gallaghers.
I don't think y'all are as bad as the Gallaghers, but
You
you
want to
certainly
come?
got a house full.
You want to come up for the weekend?
No,
Come on over. You'll totally see it. You'll see.
I think I get it.
Yeah. Even even Roy, because I'd been saying it for a couple of days. Roy, Roy walked in. There was a bunch of us in the kitchen. We were having a chill conversation. And Roy went in the bathroom and came out. He was like, "You guys really are the fucking Gallaghers." So yeah.
Okay, so if y'all are the Gallaghers, which one are you?
Me and Roy are Fiona and Steve. Jimmy Steve.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
So yeah, that's fun. It's crazy. Um, I'm trying to think. I don't think I have anything exciting coming up over this away. Um,
I'm still waiting on news of my new position. So yeah, that's supposed to be this week. He does the talk. So whether or not he actually did it or not, I don't know. So it's all kind of a time frame thing as far as like when he actually talks to the department that he needs to talk to
mhm,
set those wheels in motion, as far as when I actually get moved, because I'm going to train with someone else who actually is going through the hiring process. So it's
okay,
kind of those wheels have to be at a certain point before I can jump in.
okay,
So yeah, it's a process. Probably the
fun,
end of the month, early next month.
fun, fun.
Yep.
Um, I'm just trying to think if there's anything, and I feel like there's something. I feel like there's something, but I don't know.
Okay. I'm proud of the fact that I'm wearing this shirt today. Um, this shirt is rather old from when I first came back from California. And at that time, I was smaller because I was in California. We didn't have a car. We walked everywhere or biked everywhere. And I was very active within the marina. Lived on one side, worked on the other. And laundry's on this side, lived over here. But at the same time, I would do other people's laundry
Mhm,
because we were in a marina, the guys would go out fishing, yada yada. So here's me, baby in the stroller, or when he was real little, I had him in the little pouch on
mhm.
the front. So I would go trekking through the marina parking lot, baby either on the front of me or in the stroller, pulling a cart with 4 to 5 people's laundry.
Oh,
So I was pretty fit and active back in the day. So the fact that I can wear it and it's rather loose,
I was gonna say it looks kind of baggy on you. Now, is it gray or blue?
it's blue. It is a baby blue. So
Because I can't really tell because like this is gray, my couch is gray, obviously. Um, yeah.
yeah,
But
green. Blue.
see, to me, it looks gray with blue tones. But
Okay.
yeah, what the fuck do I know? Not fully awake. And I don't know where this came from, but I got this fucking welt.
I told her she needed to tell her ghosties to stop hitting her or she was going to evict them.
Tell you what, that
Yeah, evicting is a harder process.
yeah. And what honestly, what bothered me the most about it is I went to my dermatologist last week and he gave me a new medicated cream because now the hyperpigmentation's gone, but now like all this redness is popping up. So he gave me that's a morning thing, but I can't use it on like broken skin. And I got this
Mm.
fucking well, and it's not broken, it's not open, but I also didn't want to use it. So I didn't use my medication today.
Now, out of curiosity, did he say whether or not that was rosacea?
Um, he used a big word. And okay, look, I'm just gonna my dermatologist is very nice looking. I really don't hear too many of the words he says.
One of those kinds of things.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't really hear much of what he says. And then it was look, it was uncomfortable. because
What
he's
did you do?
looking at my face. Because
Hmm.
of course, I go in there, I've got no makeup or anything on. So he's looking at my face and he's tucking my hair behind my ear. And I'm like, please stop. It was a whole thing. So
I would have gone in hair already tucked behind the ear so
he's
that
never done that before. That's a first. Well, and I will say, usually, because I don't drive with hair clips in,
Mhm.
because that to me is, I'm short, so my head hits the back of the thing, like if I go, at a driver. So I'll throw my hair up in a clip like once I get to work.
Yeah, heaven
Um,
forbid you go, God, I can see it getting some road rage and,
I mean,
slamming your
you've
head
heard it. I
back
know
and
Dan's heard it, like in polos and stuff. Um,
a
and
little bit of road rage.
normally I do throw my hair up in a clip before I go in, and I didn't this time. So that's probably, yep. So it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. He was talking, and both sides. Yeah, no. I will remember to wear a clip next time. Um, but I did bring up the fact, like, could it be like a symptom of menopause? He said it could be, but it also could be it's always been there, but just the hyperpigmentation was so bad you couldn't see that. Now that that's kind of lessening, maybe now the redness is popping up. It could be both, or it could be either, or I don't know. But yeah, so I'm on Rofade and I couldn't use it today. I mean, I probably could have because, like I said, this isn't open, but it's kind of,
Irritated.
yeah. So I didn't want to cause any more issues and put it on. I'm like, one day. So,
Understandable. And so is the hyperpigmentation completely gone?
no,
Oh,
no, it's
I was about
like,
to be so excited.
okay, so, and I guess maybe it's because I see it every day. Like, okay, there is a difference from when I first started the Triluma. And but then I get to a point, I'm like, okay, it's not doing anything else. Well, he showed me my very first appointment picture before
Hmm.
I started to now, and the difference is insane. Crazy difference.
Okay. So do you think that considering you were trying on your own with various, creams and things like that, versus going to the dermatologist and trying what he prescribed, do you think that you would prefer for people to just go straight to the dermatologist, or do you think maybe trying a couple of things on their own, and if that doesn't work, then going to the dermatologist like you did?
I mean, I can see pros and cons of both. Yes, it's probably going to be cheaper um to try things on your own. Like the one thing I had found on Amazon, and I used that, you could see a difference, and then you're supposed to stop using it for 30 days. And then to me, it all came back. Now, with the stuff I'm on, they do say, go ahead and stop it for 30 days. But like my dermatologist was explaining, is for people with darker skin tones. And he said, you could use it every day. Now, what I will do is I will give myself like a week break from it
Okay.
and then just do my typical nighttime because, okay, I don't always do my nighttime based routine because you're supposed to wait at least 30 minutes after putting the Triluma on before you add like any moisturizers or anything like that. And there's sometimes I put that on and go straight to bed. It's whatever.
Understandable.
But I mean, I think I'm doing something pretty okay because most people don't think I'm 50.
Yeah, you don't look it.
So I'll take it. Whatever I'm doing, I'll take it.
Right. Yeah, the reason I ask is because I also have the hyperpigmentation, and I know that it is a common problem for a lot of the ladies, within the beauty community of the hyperpigmentation. Mine, I think, covers fairly well.
Mm-hmm.
I have a giant patch right here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like I have natural contouring. It's weird though because it's really primary right here on this side,
Yeah.
but it's here on this side. And I have my own natural nose contour on this side, but not this side.
Now I will say, regardless of if you go to a dermatologist, vitamin C and sunscreen, do it. Um,
Okay. Topical vitamin C or oral vitamin C?
Topical. Um, I've used, like even he said, as long as there's vitamin C, it doesn't matter. Like I wouldn't use anything from like, well, maybe I would. I mean, Dollar Tree actually has some decent stuff. They get name brand shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I've used stuff from Amazon. Bought stuff at Walmart. I've even bought shit from Five Below. It just it just depends. Um, so far I really haven't found one that's any better than the other. Um, and then I just use like the copper tone sunscreen for your face.
Okay.
I've tried other ones, and even if you use a small amount, it like turns my face white. I don't need help with that. I'm already pretty fucking white. So I don't need, and I honestly, I think what did this was a couple years ago, jumping in the tanner. Jenny gets a phone call. It muted her. But yeah, I, this was like from a few years ago. I was in a tanning booth, and a couple days later, I noticed I had it. And at first, I thought it was just like tan, and then it didn't go away. And then it was a nightmare. Like it was bad.
Yeah, when mine first started, I was actually back from California about a year because I lived down there for almost 4 years on a sailboat. So in the direct sun,
Right, right.
24/7. And it started right here,
Hmm.
right in between my eyebrows. And it was in the shape of a triangle. It went like this, just one spot. And I thought, just a tan spot, no big deal. Well, then it started lightening around it, and it just, kind of increased. One day, I was working in the kitchen at the casino. I was a cook. Um, Prior to my extreme reaction to gloves. But I had gone in, and the first security guard looks at me and he's like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." He's like, "Okay, just checking." And go to my area, or go to my area, and I no more than make it around the corner and I get stopped again. "Hey, are you okay? What happened?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm fine." And this one was a supervisor, different department. And he's like, "Well, you got a mark on your head." He's like, "Did you hit your head on something?" I'm like, "No, what are you talking about? I didn't hit my head on anything." So naturally, rush to the bathroom. Like, what the fuck are these people talking about? What are they seeing?
Right.
And it's the dark spot. They thought I had hit my head on something and, potentially concussed myself or whatever, basically done the whole dog to the door trick. And, but yeah, it was just hyperpigmentation.
Yeah.
Um, And since, it spread from this little spot right here to all over the forehead, and then it started showing up really bad on the nose. And it actually took about a year or two before I noticed it on my cheeks. But yeah, it was bad. So shortly after it started showing up was when I started wearing makeup. And I was never really a huge makeup person to begin with, but it was just throw foundation on, cover it up, make my skin one color.
Yeah.
And even still to this day, like if I have to go somewhere and I don't have makeup on, throw foundation on, make it one color, out the door I go. I
Yeah.
don't even care.
Yeah, see, and mine was before I went to the dermatologist. Mine was really bad. There's no way I could go without makeup. And it was building foundation and things like just constantly building. I went on and like I went to Ulta and got it's supposed to be like the high coverage, supposed to be able to cover up tattoos. I have not found that yet. I've ordered them off Facebook. Um, different foundations that are supposed to cover it and it doesn't. The one did okay. The one I went and got at Ulta. That one did okay, but it still wasn't, you know,
Mhm.
um, a lot of concealer, just and then I just looked cakey and now I
Yeah.
could do just like one layer. So I mean I have noticed a difference when it comes to that. Dan, if you're listening, I'm sorry you gotta listen about this, but sorry. Um,
Well, you know what? There's guys who get the hyperpigmentation
oh
too,
yeah. Yeah,
you know,
Roy's got some. Like
does
he's got
he?
a little bit, but when he was younger, he spent a lot of time out in the sun. And that's why honestly, like even on um cloudy days, wear your sunscreen. Rainy days, wear your sunscreen. Now, my dermatologist did tell me it's winter, so you don't have to like apply it as much. I don't know if that's true, but that's what he just told me. Um, I mean, I honestly only apply it once a day, but I will try to buy makeup that also has sunscreen in it.
Yeah, I buy the stuff that has sunscreen in it when I can. I'm really terrible about an actual skincare routine. The routine lasts about a week and then it's gone.
No, and before I started, oh, I'll tell this, and then you can get started in your story because I've got like 50 minutes. Um, like I would come home from work, not wash my face, go to bed. Well, you have to have clean skin to apply the cream.
Mhm.
So that kind of kicked a skincare routine into gear for me. Then I get up in the morning. Well, now my new routine is to get up in the morning and I just go over my face with toner because I washed it the night before. So I just go over it with toner, put on the new Row Fade stuff, then my vitamin C, then my sunscreen. And you wouldn't think so because of sunscreen, but then I have like 80 different, well, not really, but I have multiple different moisturizers that I alternate.
Okay.
And then it's the primer. And I've got a couple different ones of those that I use. It just depends on what I'm in the mood for.
I'm having a new experience with primer.
What one? No, no. That's that's another conversation.
We'll save it for later.
Yeah.
How about we
Um,
get into some creepypasta?
yes, let's.
So that's what my story is today. It's a piece of creepypasta. However, it's one that I have experienced, not necessarily in the way of this, but I have experienced something. So this one, I'm going to tell you the story first. What are your people doing?
Roy's out there going, whoo. So I don't know if he sneezed or if he's pretending he's Ric Flair. I don't know, but he's up there making
Is it bad that I can see him being Ric Flair?
yes.
Okay, so our story. I'm going to tell you the story that I listened to first. And to be fair, I did follow this. I did track it down. It was a story that was submitted to Reddit from a park ranger. Park rangers got crazy ass stories, man.
I can imagine.
Okay, so this one comes in that there are two gentlemen. It's meant to be told in the first person, but I'm not gonna do it that way. So these two guys decide that they're gonna go on a hike. Um, one of them is celebrating getting into something. I forget exactly which one it was, but two guys, best friends. Very outdoorsy. They know what the heck they're doing when it comes to hiking, but they're in a group setting where they go up to like a ranger station. From this ranger station, they, get all their stuff packed up, meet everybody, and then go from that location and hike out to another location where they then camp. So you have rangers at the back, rangers at the front, and you got a bunch of people spread out on this trail, but everybody's still together. So as they're going, people start spreading out a little further. The two guys are on their own, but they know where, people are. Um, just chatting it up as they're going. All of a sudden, one of them sees a set of stairs in a clearing. They're like, what the fuck? Where the hell did these come from? So one guy, intrusive thought,
I've seen that
run up
on
the
TikTok.
stairs. Run up the stairs. I haven't seen it on TikTok. That's the funny thing. I have not seen it on there, and I'm kind of amazed I haven't. But so first guy goes to run up the stairs. As he's running towards it, he, kind of has a weird feeling like, should I really do this? Kind of not sure. Kind of looking back at his friend. Friend's kind of looking like, what the fuck? Uh, Guy goes to step onto the stairs. He no more than touches it and goes into like a euphoric state. He's giggling, thinks it's great, it's funny, looks back at his friend who has a look of utter horror on his face. Like this guy just grew a third head and, turned into a giant beast, or there's something wrong. And he's like, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm gonna finish going upstairs. As soon as he turns to run up the rest of the stairs, the friend who has the horror looking face, struck face, grabs the hood, yanks him back off the stairs, basically knocking the wind out of him, like our experience. And, dude's like, what the fuck? Kind of looking up at him. What's going on? What'd you do that for? And the friend is like, oh my God, are you okay? What's going on? Do we need to get you to, the hospital? Blah, blah, blah. Worried that something is wrong. And the guy's like, no, I'm fine. What are you talking about? Nothing's wrong with me. Guy's like, no, no, just stay on the ground. Are you okay? Because guy's trying to get up. And he's like, I'm fine. What are you talking about? The friend tells him, as soon as you touched the stairs, it was like you went into a seizure. And, eyes roll back in his head. He's convulsing. He's got a crazy look on his face. So it freaked the friend out, because it
Hmm.
was instantly when he touched it. And the guy's like, what? No. He's like, that didn't happen. He's like, it was a great experience, it was neat. It was like it was pulsing and kind of radiating with a whole oh kind of moment. And he's like, it was, I was laughing, it's fine. I'm fine. Meanwhile, guy is still freaking out, you know, making sure he's okay. The guy who went on or touched the stairs, he's got to convince his friend he is now okay the entire rest of the trek to the campsite. They get there, and he's finally got his friend convinced that he's fine, there's nothing wrong. And one of the camp rangers just looks the guy dead in the face, the one that actually touched the stairs. And, just kind of doing a survey, making sure everybody's there, and locks eyes with this guy. And he's like, tell me you didn't go on the stairs. Tell me you didn't touch the stairs. And he's frantic. And the guy's like, well, no, it was fine. Nothing happened, just kind of felt a little thing. He's like, but it's no big deal. And the guy's like, oh, okay. He's like, but nothing happened. Guy's like, no, it's fine. I'm fine. Nothing happened. He's like, okay, we should be okay then. We should be fine. So he's starting to put a little fear and doubt into this guy who just touched the stairs.
Right.
So they get camp all made up and everything. They enjoy the day trekking around. Next morning, they hear a kid in the camp crying. Where's his mom? The guys get up, like what's going on? Tent's gone, belongings are gone, mom is gone, all of it. So they go looking. A couple people stay in camp with the kids, other people go out looking. They find the woman in a clearing, huddled up, fetal position, essentially, shaking, crying, exactly where the stairs were. The stairs
Word.
are now gone, or the stairs are gone, and she is in their place. And so they find her, they're like, hey, it's okay, we've got your son back at camp, blah, 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 blah. She looks up at him, just horror stricken. What took you so long? I've been waiting days. And they're like, no, no, ma'am, it's okay. It's only been a couple of hours. We got you. Are you okay? Can you walk? Yada yada. Not exactly best condition. She's in shock, you know. So they help her back to camp and things are okay, except for the fact that the entire way she's asking who she brought with, who's with her, what's their name. She doesn't know that she has a son in camp or what his name is until they tell her. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go find him and then we're gonna go home. Son sees his mom as she gets back to camp. That's not my mom. It was the whole woman on the plane situation. And he is 100% adamant that that is not his mother. He doesn't know who it is, but it's not her. So at this point, the guy who touched the stairs, like, what the fuck is going on here? He's getting these weird, ominous, things from the ranger. Now this shit's happening. She was exactly where the stairs were. He goes and corners the ranger. What the fuck is going on here? And the ranger is like, I'm just glad it wasn't the kid. Just, I can't deal with the kid. And he's like, it'll be all right. He's like, we just got to keep them separate. Just keep the mom away from the son. It'll be all right. So they're trying to keep them kind of away from each other. Kid's freaked out, doesn't want to be by her anyways. Meanwhile, she's kind of in a half here, half not here kind of a state. If you sit her down and walk away from her, she just kind of goes into a trance and stares into nothing. However, as soon as people start to come near her, she kind of wakes up and interacts. But for the most part, she's not really talking. So they decide they're gonna come up with some activities, keep the kid away from her. So they send the kids out kayaking, keep the woman at the camp, yada yada. Meanwhile, they still don't really know what the fuck is going on. So guys corner the ranger again because he's kind of running around like a chicken with his head cut off and behind the scenes, nobody really knows. They're like, all right, tell us what's really fucking going on. And so the ranger explains how when he first joined the search and rescue team, that essentially in his core, anyone who joins up is sat down when they first join and essentially given the oral history of the forest that they're working. And this is the oral history of the Bigfoots. and, the missing people and things like that. The things that happen in the forest that we lay people don't get to know about. And as I say, Park Service people, they have crazy fucking stories.
Yeah, I have no doubt about that.
I mean, I'm sorry, I am a person who believes that there is shit in the forest that we don't know about. I also believe there is shit in the oceans that we don't know about. I
I
also believe there
probably
is shit
don't
in
need to know
space we
about.
don't know about. Depends. We might need to.
We
We
might
might.
need to, but we might not want to, I guess is what I meant to say.
There we go. So the park ranger explains to them that when these stairs appear, you're not supposed to touch them. Never touch them under any circumstances. If you do, and something happens to the person who touches or goes on the stairs, someone is going to die. However, if you go on the stairs and nothing happens to the person who goes on them, someone is going to go missing. You don't know for how long, you don't know who, you don't know where they're going to go, but they're going to go missing. And so they're like, so the stairs showed up, you touched them, she went missing. This is where we're at. They're being mimicked. And they're like, what do you mean? The guy's like, I've only ever seen this actually happen one other time. He's like, in that instance, we had a guy on a trip. He was real hippie type, had a great time. One day he disappears off into the woods, several hours, comes back, and he's talking perfect, proper freaking English and just being, exceptionally polite, wondering who he came with and when they're going to leave. As soon as the guy got back into camp, the ranger knew that there was something off because of the way he was talking. It was not the way this super hippy dippy guy showed up on the trip to Mr. Proper English guy.
Right,
So
right,
he's so he starts watching him, and not only is he watching him because of that, but it's his job. He needs to make sure everybody is safe.
right, right.
So, he continues talking with this guy and explaining to him, how, well, you didn't come with anyone, why does it matter? And we're gonna leave in the morning. And the guy's like, oh, well, that's a bummer. It's like, well, I really need someone to come and get me. I really need a loved one to come get me. I don't know if I can, drive. I need someone. So they look up the guy's information. He doesn't have an emergency contact. And the ranger is like, well, I'm sorry. It's like they're without this, we don't have anyone we can call for you. If you don't know anyone and we don't know anyone, there isn't anything we can do. But we need you to get the fuck out of the woods, basically. And so they're trying to convince this guy, it's time to go. He's not leaving. He's like, but I can't. I can't leave without someone to take me home. And the ranger's really confused. He's like, no, no, it'll be fine. We'll get you back to base. We'll figure this out. Nope. Guy drops his bag, turns around, hightails it into the freaking woods, and is never seen from or heard from again. So he knows that this guy who disappeared into the woods, they never found him. He wasn't the guy because it was completely different. He looked like the guy, but he didn't sound like the guy. He didn't act like the guy. After a week of searching to find the guy who went running into the woods, they find his body at the bottom of a ravine, and it was determined that he had passed away exactly when the guy went running into the woods.
So that kid's mom is probably dead somewhere.
Hold on. So, as they're trying to deal with the situation of the child who's like, that's not my mom. I don't know who or what it is. It's not her. They're keeping them separate. Meanwhile, the park ranger is like, okay, we got to figure this out. It needs a loved one to lead it out of the woods. We're not letting the kid lead it out. We're going to
Right.
keep them separate. They have someone back at their base look up the emergency contact. It's the kid's dad. And so they are keeping this kid occupied. Meanwhile, they're trying to keep the lady calm so that she doesn't know what's going on, right? So they're like, okay, not a big deal. Your husband's coming, and he's going to come pick you guys up, yada, yada, yada. So they decide they're going to take the kid to the dad. As they're walking, the wife is like, yeah, it'll be fine. My husband's coming. My husband's going to take us home. They get out to the parking lot area, and the husband shows up, says, who
That's
the
right.
fuck are you? What the hell do you think you're doing? How could you do this to our son? You couldn't even manage to stay sober one goddamn night. Hmm.
Mm,
He's like, we've been divorced 5 years. Why the hell would I take you anywhere? Hmm. So he doesn't even actually see that this person who is supposed to be his ex-wife is completely not his ex-wife. Instead, he is just livid at the fact that she got drunk while taking care of their kid out in the middle of the woods, caused this whole scene basically. And now he's got to clean up her mess again. He takes the kid and leaves her there, tells her, find your own fucking way home. I'm done with you. And so she becomes utterly distraught. What she doesn't know is in the meantime, as soon as they sent the kid off on the canoe trip, they sent search parties to go find her because they knew that so long as they had the mimic in camp, they had a chance to find the woman alive.
okay.
If the mimic leaves the camp, what the hell was that?
What?
You did Roy or someone just whistle? I
No,
swear I heard whistling from your end.
no. No one's even in the kitchen right now.
Okay. Um,
I'll have to play that back.
so they're out looking for her body as they're trying to distract her. Okay. She takes off. She disappears. They're like, oh shit, what are we gonna do now? And the ranger's like, don't worry about it. Just keep looking for her. Okay. But at the same time, we need to keep everybody else in the dark about what's really going on. We can't let them know this person isn't a real person. We can't let them know that there's a person from the group missing, all this kind of stuff. So they're in groups, they're walking around, all throughout the woods. They end up with a couple of very hillbilly-ish country type guys who are, exceptionally woodsy, fishermen, hunter type people. I'm sure everybody's got a great mental picture right now.
Yeah.
There's actually three of these guys on this trip. However, only two are at the camp. And so these guys who are helping the park ranger, one who stepped on the stairs, is like, yo, what happened to your buddy? Where'd he go? And they're like, oh, well, he's down fishing. We can go get him. not a big deal. And they're like, he went down to go fishing when the kids went on the canoe trip. And they're like, oh, okay, no problem. Let's go get him. Meanwhile, in the camp, there is three crows perfectly lined up on a log, just watching. Except when the woman ran off, one crow flew away. Still two crows remaining.
Hmm,
Hmm.
that's creepy.
It is creepy. Um, so they go to find this guy who's off fishing, right? The reason everyone was at the camp instead of like doing the canoeing and whatnot was because a cold front moved in, so they were re-preparing to go back out. They get to or as they're nearing the lake where the guy is fishing, they feel, the difference in the temperature, and they're like, "Whoa, when did this cold front move in?" You know, and the guys who were a part of that group were like, "Oh, about an hour ago." The two guys who were dealing with the woman look at each other with a odd look on their face, with realization that that was the exact time that the woman hightailed it into the woods and the crow flew away. As they're getting closer to the water, there's fog all over the place. Sudden cold front moved in, and they see the guy standing about knee high in the water, with his waders on and everything, doing his fly fishing bit back to them because he's looking out at the water. They start talking to him, hey, it's time to come, back to the camp, yada, yada, yada. He's not moving. He's not saying anything. What the fuck? They start getting a little closer, and realize that the lake has frozen over. And here he is, standing in it, frozen in the water. And they're like, what the fuck? Did he really just stand here as this froze around him? So they walk over to him and, come in front of him, and he just has a look of blankness essentially about him. So they try to wake him up, not really coming cognizant. They kind of lift him up out of the water, get him up to the shore, where he finally starts to kind of come to. Um, Talking about the cold front, and then proceeds to start talking about this thing that was just so beautiful.
Mm.
And he wished that they could have seen it. It was so fascinating and amazing. So they're back at the camp, and the guys are relaying everything to the ranger yet again. Ranger's like, oh shit. Like, I was afraid of this. He's like, all right. He's like, well, we're nearing the end. We'll make it through. So the ranger tells him, if you smell sulfur and see antlers, look down. Don't look up. Don't look at it. Whatever you do, don't look. The fuck is this guy on, Keeps telling us all this weird shit. In the end, the three guys, the woodsy type guys, are with the other two. They're trying to warm up the guy who is in the river and had it freeze around him. He doesn't have a clue what the fuck's going on. Completely dazed. But they're trying to warm him up, keep him from, having frostbite set in. As they're sitting there, one of the guys looks up. He's like, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. And the other two guys just go instant stock still and are like, oh shit. And they're like, what? What's so beautiful? You need to see it. Just turn around and look.
Uh-oh.
The antlers are amazing. The guys are like, oh shit. Meow. Instant downward gaze. And this smell hits them as they're hearing these weird guttural grunting sounds going on around them, even to the point where it's right in their ears. But they don't look. And then it wanders off into the woods. Meanwhile, Ranger has been gone. He's trying to prepare the camp ahead for all the people that now have to go there, on an emergency type situation. He gets back to the camp. What I miss, kind of a thing. The guys fill him in. They're like, all right, I've got the camp ready. We're going to get everyone up there. Just stick to the plan. If you see it, if you hear it, or if you see it or you smell it, look down, don't look at it. We're going to get everyone up there. We'll be fine. So they're trying to rush everyone up to the camp. And as they get there, kids suddenly start playing on this jungle gym. As they start to play on the jungle gym, the second crow flies away. As they're playing on this jungle gym stairs type thing, each step these kids are taking is reverberating like a drum through the forest. And it set horror into the guys who know what's going on, most especially the one who touched the stairs. He's thinking, fuck, he's like, I touched it. What's going to happen now? These kids are running all over. All I did was touch it. They're climbing all over it. And the ranger's like, no, it's fine. It'll be fine. We're good. It's great. We're golden. This is the end. Go on inside. Guys are like, what the fuck? How is this good? Ranger gets everyone inside, and the guy who touched the stairs is like, how is this a good thing? He's cornering him. How is this a good thing? I touched it, and this is what happened. These kids were all over that damn thing. Didn't you hear it? It was, sounding like a drum. Yada, yada, yada. Ranger says, I know. He's like, but look at it now. I was like, what do you mean, look at it now? He's like, it's right there in the yard. As he looks out the window, realizes the jungle gym is gone. It is now a red door. The ranger says, it's okay. I know exactly what needs to happen. He's like, we're at the end. He's like, we're good. He's like, this is the end. He's like, there's only one thing that can happen now. Because I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? The ranger then proceeds to tell him a story about how when he became a ranger, he did it with a friend. And the two of them went through a very similar situation with the hippie in the woods. When that situation happened, the red door appeared, and his friend went through the red door. And the guys are like, well, what happens when you go through the door? He's like, I don't know. Hopefully, I'll find my friend on the other side. So they go out to the parking lot, and the ranger says, it's all right. He's like, after this, it's all going to be fine. It's like, you guys will be safe. You can leave. He's like, and I will have done my job and kept you all safe. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? It's just a random ass door frame and door. Nothing around it. Like, what the hell is this guy on? Guy opens the door, steps through, turns around, and closes the door. And they're like, what the fuck? As the door closes, they have the whole oh moment again. And they're thinking, what the fuck? He's just on the other side. We don't know what the hell's going on. As they move to go around the door, expecting to find the guy on the other side, a wind suddenly kicks up as the third crow flies away. And the door falls flat on the ground in the parking lot, right where the guy should have been standing. In the end, the woman is found in a hollowed out tree in a dazed state, not knowing what the fuck is going on. So she is found safe. The son is with the father, and he is safe. However, the forest is still haunted by the creepy motherfucking stairs.
Wonderful.
The ranger is gone, and everyone else has to go home none the wiser. So the creepypasta effect is that there's random ass staircases in the middle of fucking woods where they don't belong. Why are they there? Who put them there? All that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah. I know. Okay, because I had heard the one podcast I listened to, they actually covered this creepypasta.
I think I
And
missed a little section in there, but yeah.
and I remember being curious because and I it was a while ago. And I remember thinking, because they were talking about how I don't want to say it's common, but it's more common than what people hear about, blah, blah, blah. So I started looking. And supposedly there is, I don't know if it's still a Girl Scout camp or a former camp, but it's up by the airport in Alpena. And someone had found stairs there. How true it is, I don't know. I'm not going to go look for them.
There is actually stairs in Michigan that, people attribute stuff to. There's stairs here in Wisconsin. There is stairs in Florida. There's essentially a set of stairs in every state, in every country. Did you know that? So remember how I said there was a Reddit post submitted by a park ranger?
Hmm.
I looked it up. It's a legit Reddit post. This ranger tells a group of stories, some plausible, some not as plausible. Um, but it was posted 8 years ago. And that was kind of when the whole creepypasta of the stairs began, was kind of around that time. But funny enough, the lore of the stairs goes back hundreds of years, but nobody talked about them till, a short time ago. Um, but there is like one in Philippines, in Sweden, in Italy. Um, so the post was originally made on August 26th, 2015. Um, says, I am a search and rescue officer for the U.S. Forest Service. I have stories to tell. And he's got a couple of different parts on there. I didn't go into the second part. I just kind of went through the first of them. Um, but yeah, talks about that. There is other cases where there is actually park rangers talking about, random stairs in woods. And they explain how the stairs get there. And it's basically a bygone era, you know, when we built houses way back in the day, very simple structures, you know, but in certain areas of the home are reinforced, and therefore those parts of the structures last longer in decay,
I mean,
such
that
as
100% makes sense.
stairs. Yeah. I mean, it may, like, I have seen, in cases where the walls have gone down, but the stairs are still there. I mean, I've seen it. So I do have a site up, the Ripley's Believe It or Not site, but it does have some good pictures of stairs, that have been found in woods. Um, Here is one set, and those are cement stairs. So to me, it makes sense that those are going to last longer than, wooden walls and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And then here's another set. These ones are almost like cobblestone, but it's just a random set of stairs leading to nowhere. But one of the frequently used photos is
Oh,
this one
excuse me.
right here. And it actually does have the TikTok person on there. So I'm gonna put my finger over it because I didn't go to that and I'm not gonna, you know. But that's the most commonly used picture of the stairs in the woods. This particular set of stairs is in the UK. It is a part of a art exhibit um, of, I believe it was modernism. Basically things where they're not meant to be. So this particular set of stairs is there. There is also like a couple sitting on a log embracing, you know, just where you wouldn't expect them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And so yeah. But I thought it was interesting that that particular story not only dealt with the phenomena of the stairs, but also the doors.
sorry, I'm so yawny today.
All good. And I think it's interesting how people try to attribute these random stares to, summoning demons, satanic rituals, things that I don't think that that's necessarily what they were. I honestly believe that they were just part of structures and that's the remaining bits. Creepy as shit when you come across it and you don't expect it, but paranormal, I'm gonna say most likely not.
Right. Now, to me,
Um,
I'm sorry, but that last one you showed almost reminds me of like an escalator type thing, like in a mall.
mhm. My guess would be it probably is more solid like that. 'Cause I get why you say like an escalator. Totally see it.
That's just what it reminds me of. I'm not saying that's what it is, but it definitely makes me think of that.
Yeah, and it could be it was just, built more structurally sound. I mean, ensure that if people did come upon it and decide to climb it, they weren't gonna break it or fall off.
Right.
But I thought it was interesting that it connects to the doors because, they say that the random doors are portals to other worlds and, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So my to our listeners, I hear your birds. I
Yeah.
hear
Fucking assholes.
tell Lilith to calm down.
Oh, she's such an
Um,
asshole. She's the
my
worst.
question, have you seen stairs? Have you seen a door? I personally have seen the door. My door is blue. And it's when I go see my husband, I can look out over this field because it's actually, you come around a curve and it's down a little ways. You have a giant field. In the back corner is a blue door sitting on the edge of the woods. It's not a big wooded area, probably a couple miles wide, but it's a nice long swath, between properties. But it's just right on the edge, just sitting there, just a random ass blue door.
I know we
Yes, I
were,
want to go through it.
don't, please, don't. Um, I know before like our little pregame session before we were talking about like woods and where I grew up, like behind, like in the middle of the block, um, we had there was woods back there. We
Mhm.
always called it the field. And there was probably a good 30 feet of like tall grass field. But then after that, there was woods, there was trails, you could ride bikes back there. I mean, watch out for tree branches, but it was a hot spot for teenagers to do dirty things. But I can remember my brother and his friend, and the friend lived a couple doors down from us. They would go back there almost every day.
Sorry, that was an Easter egg for anybody who follows me on TikTok. Do you know what that was?
Um, well, they come up and they've got money in their hands, like bunches of money. And my
Weird.
mom's like, where did you find that? My brother's like, there's a safe in the field. So my mom calls the police. Detectives are out there. And what it was there was, and it was known who did it, but no one was ever arrested for it. Like they know who did it. Broke into this guy's house and stole his safe.
Dang.
Got it out in the field behind our
Oh,
house,
motherfucking safe.
cracked it open, but left all there was cash, stocks, bonds, um, jewelry, left it there. I don't know if he was coming back for it.
That's so
So my brother and his friend had to talk to the detectives. They figured out whose safe it was, and my mom was pissed. She was like, these boys could have just kept this money and kept their damn mouth shut, but they didn't. And like this dude didn't even give him $5 as a reward, like nothing. My
That's
mom's
rude.
like, oh, my mom was pissed on behalf of my brother and his like
Right?
pissed.
I would be
His
too.
Everything was there. There was nothing missing from the safe. No cash, no nothing. Everything was there. So my guess is the guy, I don't know how he got the safe open. I don't know if he knew the code. I didn't see the safe, so I don't know. I don't know the condition it was found in. I don't know if it was just the door open. I don't know.
Mhm.
Um, but nothing was missing. So they don't know if he just had it back there, which is stupid because the person they say it was one of them that was always back there
Mhm.
and knew that other kids hung out back there.
Yeah,
So,
so it doesn't quite make sense that he would have opened it and then left everything.
mm-mm, unless he was coming back for it. Like
But even
maybe,
still, knowing other kids hang out back there, you know what I mean?
right. But for all they know, he had, they had just missed each other kind of thing, maybe.
Yeah,
And
could
he
be.
was on his way back, probably was coming back through, saw the detectives and said, fuck off, and left.
Yeah, true. True.
Yeah.
Huh.
So that's
Crazy.
like the closest thing that I personally, well, not me personally, and my brother, but like the family dealt with this true crime because my brothers found a safe that was stolen and had like handfuls of cash in their hand.
I bet to this day they still wish they could have kept that cash.
At least something, like I said, like a reward, something.
Right? I mean, when someone finds something like that for you and returns it, show some gratitude. I mean, and I'm not saying you got to give, a big amount, but even $5,
Right,
you
five
know,
bucks to a couple of 10-year-old kids, and I want to say that's about what they were at the time, was maybe 10. That and back in like the late 70s, early 80s, $5, it's like 50 now.
I was gonna say fucking rich and famous right there to 10-year-old, $5 back then.
Yep,
Oh yeah, top of the world.
they were ballers.
Oh yeah. It's kind
They-
of like when people hit really big jackpots at work. I mean, I'm sorry, but like if you win, say 1,500, you know, not an excessive amount. It's a nice jackpot. $20. Nice tip. Appreciate it. If you hit anything like over 8,000, you better, tip something. You know what I mean? If you hit over 20, you damn well better show some gratitude towards the people who are running their asses off to help get you your money. Because they do.
right.
They literally, some of them will literally run. Okay. Like sometimes it's that bad because we'll have so many jackpots that they will almost have to literally run to catch up with them.
Good Lord.
Yeah. It's not a frequent thing, but in some cases, yeah, they're running their asses off. They can hold pace with me when they want to. But yeah, and in some cases, people are just so rude,
And
and it's just and then they ignore you.
now I'm not gonna
Like,
lie, until knowing you, I didn't, well, and I've never won big. Uh, like if I put in $10 and I walk away with 40, that's winning big for me. And I'm sorry
Right.
that I'm not tipping for $40.
Well, and 40 bucks, you don't have to worry about. You can take it, to the machine or the counter and, they'll cash it out for you. However, certain amounts, they do require someone to come to your machine, verify it, and whatnot, and then someone will bring you your winnings.
Right, right.
Um, and, like I said, if you win 1,500, 20 bucks, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you hit something big, please give a little more because they do run their butts off. They do have a lot of shit that they have to remember. And in some cases, the people winning don't know. So yeah, and just a reminder, be kind to the people who have to give you service,
Yeah.
and that's any type of service, whether it's food or, a cashier at the grocery store or, someone at the gas station. Be kind.
Yeah. And being someone who has worked in retail, I mean, whoever's waiting on me, whether it's um cashier at a store, unless they're super rude, I will act like your best friend while you're waiting on me because I've been there and I know what it's like to have just someone who is having a shit day come in and take it out on you.
Right.
And so I will. Now you have to be a complete and total dickhead for me to do that back to you.
Right.
Um, like for example, Roy and I went out Sunday night for dinner and our waitress was top notch. She was amazing. She was sweet, she was kind. The food, however, I wouldn't have fed to a dog. How they can put that on a plate and call it edible. Like I was pissed. I'm one of those people. I like my steak mooing a little bit. Um, like I don't want it like just I don't know. Medium is fine. Anything more done than medium is disgusting to me. And you have ruined a good piece of meat.
I'll
I
ruin it.
I think they gave Roy my steak and gave me his because mine was way too done. And they were like, "Do you want us to remake it?" And I'm like, "I have seen the movie Waiting. I do not send food back. I do not send, I've seen the movie. Nope, I will not send my food back. I will either suffer through or just not eat."
Most cases, I won't send my food back. Um, but it's probably also because I don't go places and eat because I know how I am about my food. Um, so yeah, I don't do it.
Yeah, I've also never been to a restaurant where when you order mashed potatoes, it just comes dry. No butter, no gravy, no sour cream, no nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's odd.
So I'm not going back there. But anywho, I got to get ready for work. So I hope everyone is having a lovely weekend and we will talk to you soon.
Have a great week. See you next
Bye.
time. Bye.